Hey guys, so today for you I have a very fun, low power, low tier casual deck that I've been having a lot of fun with, playing about with. I have Millenniummon for you. So without further ado, let's just get into it. We've got the eggs, Pagumon, BT19, on deletion if deleted outside of battle, you return a level 3 or lower, or a level 3 purple Digimon from your trash to your hand. This is to recur your rookies because nothing else can. This is really, really good. You could probably play like trash cards, like Demi Mirrors or something as well. That might also work very well. I'm playing the Pagus just because of the reduced Digivolution cost of the 18 and 19 Millenniummon rookies. They Digivolve from over Pagu for 0. Rather than 1. But yeah, no, so Pagus for now until we get a better one. Actually, I have suggested this to Lumi for ages, to get a playset of these for Ravemon. So, in the comments, just fucking berate him. Get a playset for Ravemon. But moving on to the rookies, we've got 4 Gazimon. This is the Searcher of the deck. You reveal top 3, you add a Millenniummon and Neum, and a card with the Composite or Wicked God trait. So this can add the option, this can add basically everything in the deck, apart from the rookies. This can add everything in the archetype. And then the inheritable is Retaliation. So all the red cards, the red level 3 and 4 have inheritable Retal, and the black ones have blocker. And then, as you can see, like I say, it digivolves from red or purple level 3 for, or level 2 for 1, or Pagumon for 0, so that's why you run the Pagumon egg rather than like a Demi Mirror or something like that, just to make costs cheap. You're already paying a lot of memory in this deck, so you don't want to pay any more than you have to. But yeah. Moving on, we've got the second level 3 Gizamon, rather than Gazi, it's Giza. This is a trash 1 to draw 2, specifically you're trashing a Composite or Wicked God trait in hand to draw 2. And like I say, the black ones have blocker inheritable. So again, this is just for digging through your deck as quick as possible, and yeah, no, it's just more search power, just more cycle. And then the last level 3 we play is 2 BT14 Gazi. This is basically the best Gazi to run apart from the Floodgate. You could run the Floodgate, but I think the on-deletion gain of memory is quite nice for some of the combos in this deck. You're deleting your own stack. So the gain of memory is quite nice to do, so you're not having to spend as much. But yeah, you could run the Floodgate. Yeah, but it's only a 2 of. You play low rookie count, just because there is a lot of higher level stuff to run.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, that way you never miss a thing.
Moving on to level 4s, we have Deltamon. It's all Deltamon. So this is the BT18 one, this is the red one. It has on play when digivolving by trashing a card in hand, return a Composite or Wicked God trait card from your trash to the hand. This is honestly probably the best level 4 in the deck, just to get your Chimeramons back and get your Machindras. Basically get whatever piece you need back from trash. This is actually really good to do it with. So this is probably the better level 4, just in this own deck. Outside of it, it's obviously not that great. Like I say, the red stuff has Retail, inheritable, but nice enough as well, this Deltamon also has Raid, so it's actually really nice to raid over like some smaller bodies or some floodgates that your opponent has. If it's like early enough in the game, or even like if you've got the Retail from the Gazi and its sources, you can like straight into the big guys and die. Yeah, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Then we have more Deltamons. We've got the BT19 ones. This was started to be ran as like a level 4 in like things like Lord Knight and other Dog Engine decks, because it's very generically good. It's blocker inherit because it's black, and then it's on play when Digivolving and on deletion is you trash a card in hand to delete a level 4 lower. So this is also really good for getting rid of floodgates, really good with getting rid of Ukomons and like just things your opponent will like rush into your security with. Just good for getting rid of that. My only gripe with it is it itself isn't a blocker. I feel like if they were going to give the red one raid on it naturally, they should have put blocker on this without having to have the inheritable from the Giza, but it's still pretty good. You just run it because it's a composite as well. Like it's meant to be in the deck. There's no other better thing to run. It's also just very generically good. That's why it's run on the outside of this deck as well. But yeah, and then moving on to our last level 4, it is the Promo Deltamon. This has issues. You run it as a extra target for Digicrossing, some of the BT19 line. You'll also run it as just because like running 8 level 4s is really low. It could be cuttable. It only digivolves from red or black, which means it only digivolves on the 18 and 19 Gazi and Gizas. It doesn't digivolve on the BT14 Gazis or any other Gazis that digivolve over that purple egg. They're just they don't exist. It's only the 18 and 19 ones for the deck. The Your Turn is pretty good. It's kind of very similar to the Greymon X from BT11, where when the Digimon would digivolve into a card with 2 colors or the composite trait, it reduced the digivolution cost by 2. So it's very, very similar in that way, where it basically makes your Chimeras a 1-cost Evo, which is really, really good. But it doesn't come off that much because it's a 1-off. And then the inheritable is when attacking for each of this Digimon's colors, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3k or less. So it's just more floodgate removal. It's just more like small body removal. I don't think I've ever used this inheritable once. I don't think it's actually came up. But yeah, it's there. It's kind of there. I remember when this deck got revealed and this spiked in price. I already had like 3 copies of it, so I was pretty happy. But it spiked in price, and then after about 2 weeks, people realized that the deck wasn't like amazing, so it went right back down again. It was really funny. So now we move on to level 5, and this is where the deck kind of starts becoming a bit more of its own identity, really, because you get your Chimeramons. So this is where the combo starts to happen. Chimeramon is when digivolving, when attacking. By deleting one of your Digimon, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. Which, in itself, is really, really good. It can delete itself to do that. You're just kind of board controlling, you're board clearing. And then there's ways to like recur your bodies out afterwards and stuff like that. And if you have like a rookie on board and you just raise this straight up from breeding, you can just go swing, attack, delete the rookie. It could delete like their level 6 or something, because it's not like depending on level or anything, it's just their lowest DP. So if they only have the 1 body, you're attempting to delete that 1 body, you know? Then the on deletion is where the deck starts to get interesting. So on deletion, one of your Machinedramon and 1 Chimeramon in the trash may DNA digivolve into Millenniummon in the hand. So basically, this will die if you have a Machinedramon on board. You then use this to DNA on top of it into Millenniummon. And then the Machinedramon has the same effect, but for a Chimera on board, and if it was in trash and stuff like that. So that's where the combo kind of comes from. You're wanting to play a Machinedramon, kill this, and then immediately DNA. It works. It's fun. It can, once you get it off once or twice, it's very easy to get into it again and again. and the only issue with it is it needs so many pieces to do it. So that's why this deck is like kind of low tier, because it just needs so many pieces to be able to get into what it wants to get into. But once it gets into that, it's actually really strong, because like you have the Sec +1 inheritable from Chimeramons, and so you can do like multiple checks with a new freshly DNA'd Millenniummon on board. And like if you get things early enough, you can just swing through your opponent's security quite quickly. But yeah, so this is the 4 of Chimeramon. This is the best Chimeramon to run for the deck, because of the on deletion. The other Chimeramon doesn't have that, which we are getting onto now. So this is the BT19 Chimeramon. This one digicrosses using 3 level 4 composites. So this is, you run the promo Deltamon as the 3rd target for this. They have to have different card numbers. It's on play when digivolving. It's actually really good for board clearing, as you delete one of your Digimon, similar to the other one, but you delete one of your opponent's level 3, one of their level 4, and one of the level 5 Digimon. So if they've gone really wide with levels, this just can clear them out. This can, like, this is, you delete one thing on your side and you're deleting up to 3 things on their side. That's actually very, very strong for a level 5. A lot of the time it doesn't work to that full effect, but it's still very nice at clearing out like multiple bodies at once. Its own on-deletion is a lot harder to pull off than the other Chimera, because a lot of the time you're not that wide with bodies of your own. This Chimeramon's on-deletion is you delete one of your level 4 lower purple or red Digimon, and then you can play a Millenniummon from the trash. That has came up. It does come up from time to time. It just doesn't come up that often. But it's still good. It's still a Sec +1 inheritable for your Millenniummons and your Machinedramons. You can play it out for like a 5 cost by digicrossing. It's still just a second Chimera target to do your effect. And it's definitely good for that. Moving on to 6s, we have the good Machinedramon. Similar to the good Chimeramon, this has the on-deletion that instead of DNAing with a Machinedra on board and a Chimera in trash, it's a Chimera on board and a Machinedra in trash. It's just the other way around. Whenever the Machinedramon would be played, you can delete a composite trait Digimon that you have to reduce the play cost by 4. And then on play when digivolving, you de-digivolve all of your opponent's Digimon. So it's like Death X essentially. So what you can do is, the combo is you play this out, you delete a BT18 Chimera stack to make it a 7 cost. You might be able to gain memory back with like a Gazi inheritable or some analog use, and make it slightly cheaper that way as well, make it like a 5 cost essentially. Then go de-digivolve 1 on everything, trigger any other on-deletions, and then you trigger the Chimera to DNA into Millenniummon. Then the Millenniummon's effect will gain you some memory as well, and hopefully you'll keep turn and be able to swing for 2 checks and have a Millennium board, have a level 7 on board straight away. That's the main way this deck wants to play. And when it does that, it's really, really good. If it doesn't do that, you're in for a ride. You're in for a tough time. It's rule traded to be composite type, so you can add it back, you can search it, everything like that, so it all works okay. And then the other good thing about the Machinedramons are they are attack redirect inheritable, so they have opponent's turn once per turn. When any of your opponent's Digimon attack, you can change the attack target to one of your Digimon with the composite or Wicked God trait. The Wicked God being like for Moons and Zeeds, whereas everything else is composite. What's nice about this attack redirect is that it doesn't have to be specifically this Digimon. It could be like if you have a Deltamon on board, if they are swinging with something really big and you don't want your Millenniummon to die, you can just redirect it to the Deltamon, and that way You're still stopping them from hitting your security, provided they don't have trash or piercing or anything like that. But you're not risking your Millenniummon, which is, it's really nice actually, compared to a lot of other redirects which specifically like redirect to this body. And then our other level 6 is just a one-of. It's the bad Machinedramon. But you still run it as a Machinedramon in name. So you run really low level 6 counts just because you have to run so many level 7s. But you still want to see Machinedras. So you have to run this. This, on play when digivolving, you delete a level 5 or lower. So this can also do the combo of delete the Chimera to DNA. The only issue is this doesn't do it for reduced cost, so you're playing this for 11. If you're able to get the combo with the other Chimeramon to like spawn this from trash for free, it's quite good as well. Or you just have a lot of memory and you can hard play it, then it works really well. It does cost reduction in a way at digicrosses, but it specifically digicrosses from Cyborg or Composite Trait Digimon with different card numbers, and they have to be level 5 or lower. So basically you need one copy of every level 5 and level 4 you play in your hand to be able to get this for the full cost reduction. So it can become a 6 cost level 6, which isn't bad. It's just not likely. It doesn't happen a lot. The on deletion is you can play a level 5 or lower Digimon card with the Cyborg Composite Trait from your trash without paying the cost, and then the inheritable is the exact same as the other one. That on deletion is actually quite good because it means you can play out a Chimera that digicrosses and stuff, and you could, or like the digicross Chimera, so you can go on play, kill itself, and then kill more bodies and stuff like that. So it can be quite good that way. A lot of the time though, you just want to see the other one. There's a reason this is a 1-of and the other one's a 4-of. But yeah, no, you still run it for the name. Then we get to the namesake of the deck, which is Millenniummon. And this is actually a very good card. So on play when digivolving, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Just any Digimon that they have. No requirements at all, it's just whatever one you choose. Then if you're DNA digivolving, so if you're doing the combo, you return one of each Digimon card with different levels from your opponent's trash to the top of their deck, and you gain a memory for each card returned. So this is how you're able to keep turn a lot by doing that like 7 cost combo. Because if you're able to combine this with memory gain backs from like Gazi and Analog Youth, as well as this, you're able to keep turn a lot. Then you're able to go for like 2 checks because it's a DNA line and it has rush. The way it DNAs is really good as well because it's Chimeramon on top of Machinedramon specifically, so that order, which can be really nice if your opponent's playing a D-Digivolve deck, because a lot of the time they'll like D-Digivolve you down into a Machinedramon rather than down into a Chimeramon if they're not being smart about how they're doing it. If they're just like D-Digivolving you like the full amount they can, like D-Digivolve 2, then you'll be a Machinedramon rather than a Chimeramon, and it can actually throw your opponent off because they're not expecting the level 5 to be in between the 7 and the 6. So that's quite good. The on deletion of Millenniummon is kind of like the old one from BT2, or 3 I think it might have been. And it's kind of like pseudo fortitude. So by returning a Chimeramon and a Machinedramon from your trash to the bottom of your deck, you can play out Millenniummon again from trash without paying a cost. It doesn't have to be specifically this Millenniummon either, but it has to be just straight up Millenniummon, so it can't be like Moon or Zed. So most of the time, you are just going straight back into the one you just had deleted. Then it has a Digicross as well of Chimeramon and Machinedramon, so it means that you you can keep getting the inheritables back under, even if it dies. So if you redirect into it, it dies, you can digicross it when it plays itself back out, and get another redirect underneath. So it's quite good that way. It's also a 10 cost level 7 because of that digicross. So it's really nice. So it means that as long as you have both Machine Jar and Chimera in hand, you always have the memory to play Millenniummon. You're never at a point where you don't have enough memory to play Millenniummon unless you don't have one of those two things in hand. Yeah, but it's the namesake of the deck. It's the thing you're going to be doing the most damage with, and it's very, very good. Moving on to the other level 7s, you've got 2 Moons. This digivolves off of Millenniummon for 2. On play when digivolving, your opponent trashes cards in their hand until they have 5 left, and then for every 2 cards trashed, you delete one of their Tamers. So it's just Tamer removal. It's not like Digimon removal as well, which is less good, but like there is some strong Tamers in the game right now, and if your opponent is like using constant memory gains from Tamers to like get advantage on you, it's good to use this to get rid of them. Plus it makes them trash down to 5, so if they're playing like a blue or green deck, that's usually the best thing for this card if they're playing like blue or green, because they will have like 20 odd cards in hand, and suddenly you're making them go like, keep the 5 you want to keep, get rid of the rest. So it just demolishes their options in hand. All turns, when it would leave the battle area by deleting one of your composite trait Digimon, it doesn't leave. So this relies on having another body for its protection. It's nice protection, honestly, because it can trigger the second all turns, and the second all turns is when other Digimon or Tamers are deleted, trash your opponent's top security card, and that is a once per turn effect. But what's good about this is the when digivolving on play, as well as the other all turns, the protection effect, they both trigger it, because it doesn't matter who owned the Digimon or Tamer, as long as it's deleted, trash your opponent's top security card. So it can make your opponents kind of think twice before removing anything on your board, and it's just very nice for you to be able to use your like things like your deletions and the way your deck wants to play to get through your opponent's security without actually having to swing into it. It is also just a 5 cost on top of purple level 6, so we can go straight on top of Millenniummons, and it's also a 15k DP Digimon, so it's not going to die to a lot of things in security either, which is very good as well. And then the last Digimon in the deck is Zeeds, and you're not going to get to Zeed very often. The game's going to be decided before you get to it a lot more than you think it will. But Zeed is also just still a very good card to have. You could probably cut it down to 1 for the fact that you're not going to see it very often, but it's nice to have it too, just so that you can always have the option of going into it. It has Overclock for the composite trait. So you're able to attack at the end of turn by deleting one of your other composite trait Digimon, and you attack without suspending. So it means if you've already done an attack, you can go for another one sideways. And it's quite good like that. It has on play when digivolving when attacking, not once per turn. By returning a Digimon card from your opponent's trash to the top of the deck, you return one of the Digimon to the bottom of the deck. So there's no level disparity on that or anything like that. Just return one from trash to top, and then you return one from field to bottom. And it's quite good removal for a red, purple, black card. Like, you don't really get bottom deck removal in any of those colors. So it's actually really nice that it has that rather than just deletion. So it's actually harder to protect from that. Not a lot of things can protect from bottom decking as easily as they can protect from deletion. And then its all turns is, this Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't suspend and isn't affected by your opponent's effects. So it becomes a big old tower, it becomes a big old Magnamon X that can't be touched by any of your opponent's effects as long as it doesn't have sources. which means it's really funny going against source removal decks, because the more they remove your sources, the closer they get to not being able to touch the Digimon at all. It's also means that the all-turn stops it from attacking normally without using overclock though, which is kind of the balance factor. And honestly, the main way you get it on the board with no sources is using the option card, because it'll just straight play it from trash, and that's why Moon and Zed and Millenniummon all have on plays, because the option card can just straight up play it from trash. And then it's there, it's a big tower they can't do anything about, they can't touch, they have to battle with it, or they have to find some other creative way of getting over it. But yeah, that's the Digimon. Then moving on to Tamers. Best purple Tamer, best search, Analog Youth. I don't think I should ever have to explain what Analog Youth does. He's a great search, he adds cards to trash, he gets your eggs back. You're deleting our Chimeramons for the combo specifically, so the level 5 or higher being deleted is always met. Best purple Tamer, no doubt about it. Then we have the last Tamer deck. We have two Nene Amanos from BT19. These are here because, so they're a memory setter, first of all. Secondly, their all turns is when any of your composite or Twilight, but we don't run Twilights, we run composites, trade Digimon cards with the Digicross requirements would be played. You can suspend her to use one card from trash and one card under Tamers. You don't get the cards under Tamers, but what you care about is the card in trash. So you can use one card from trash and one card under your Tamers for the Digicross. So what this is good for is getting your Millenniummons to Digicross back out the right materials, because you can tap her to use one from trash, which means you're having to spend less resources from hand to get the right sources underneath your Millenniummon. Same with the lower stuff like Chimera and Machinder as well, but mostly Millennia. This is the combo helper. I did have her at 3, I cut her down to 2. The deck's just tight on space because you run so many level 7s. But yeah, no, she's quite handy to be able to get sources back under, or without needing to use from hand. Then we're getting on to the option cards. So we have 2 Wicked God Descents. So this, the main effect, you play a composite trade Digimon from your trash with the play cost reduced by 4, and then you place this in the battle area. Now, that sounds really good, but you're already paying 4 to use the option. So essentially, it's still making every Digimon that you're playing back the same play cost. Like you're basically just playing the play cost of the Digimon. It's not really a reduction, unless you're playing one of them back that Digicrosses and then using the Digicross to reduce. But straight up, just using this, like your level 4s, they're the same cost overall. Your level 5s, same thing. Like, this is letting you play them back from trash, which is nice, but the cost reduction is basically irrelevant. I feel like it should have said reduced by 5, that way at least everything was always reduced by 1 overall, which is kind of fair. But yeah, is what it is. The all turns is a delay effect, so whenever your Millenniummon Indiums would leave battle area, so interruptory timing, which is really nice. You can play 1 Wicked God trait Digimon card from trash that is exactly 1 play cost higher. So if Millenniummon would die, you can trash this to play Moon. If Moon would die, you can trash this to play Zed. So the best thing about this is that because it's interruptory timing and because it's a wood effect and worded that way, it means if you're on a Moon stack and you have a composite you can delete to protect, you can, whenever the moon's trying to be removed, you trash this first to play out a Zed, and then the moon can trigger to delete something and protect itself, and now you've got 2 stacks on board, and then moon is triggering to trash top, and Zed is triggering to remove bodies. So that's the best case scenario. Otherwise, a lot of time you're just using this when Millenniummon dies to play out moon and play out Zed and stuff, and it's pretty good, but you wouldn't run it more than 2, just cause space. Yeah. You've got, then coming up to our last cards, we're just running generic pieces, 2 miss memory boosts, you're wanting to get stuff in trash, helps with memory gain and keeping turns. Yeah, running mist over purple mems just because I feel like, well, first of all, Millenniummon is a red-black card, it doesn't have purple, so it will miss it. Same with the promo Deltamon. But apart from that, I feel like it's just nicer to get the trash to draw 1, or the mill to draw 1, rather than just searching deep in your deck. I feel like it works better. And then the final card of the deck, the One of Calling. It is a One of Calling, it's at 1 for a reason. Like I said, every time I have it in a deck profile, you want to get the cards back that you want to get back, and it's only a 1 cost. It's at 1 for a reason. But yeah, no, that's there's nothing funny about it. There's nothing like works particularly well other than any other deck in this one. So that is just there for it to be calling. And then that's the profile, guys. That's Millenniummon. Like I say, it's low tier, it's casual, it's fun. I've been having a great deal of enjoyment out of it, but it's definitely nothing spectacular, at least as of yet, until they bring us out maybe a Liberator Tamer for it, or maybe something else. But yeah, that's what it is for now. It's not going to be changing anytime soon.